Welcome to Unscripted with Jamie and JJ. And today we have a special guest with us.
Very special.
We have Chad Krueger from Sandals. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you, guys. This is awesome. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So as you know, we're kind of new to podcasts.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things, we don't know if we do them right, but we just do them. That's the unscripted part.
That's what I was going to say.
There's nothing scripted about it.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part about a podcast is just kind of going with it, which is fun.
I love it. So Chad, can you tell our friends a little bit about Chad? What led you to the travel industry?
Yeah, so funny enough, right out of college, I got into the industry, and it's once it's in your blood, you can't get it out. And had a couple opportunities to leave, and then it's like it just kind of keeps pulling you back. So almost 10 years ago now, I actually took a position as the business development manager for Sandals Beaches Resorts up in Minnesota and the Dakotas. So I was able to work with travel advisors up there, and then a couple of promotions later, here I am. So it's been a great journey.
Wonderful. So we've actually talked a lot to our agents about a BDM and the role of a BDM, because I think sometimes people get confused that your customer service, but you actually are not customer service. You are a business development manager.
Yeah, it's to help develop the business in any way possible. So anybody even within our sales team, we help with marketing, we help with sales, we help with, emotional support, psychology. I'm a psychiatrist sometimes, but yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's just anything to be, just to help, because sometimes you just need that sounding ear too.
That's so funny that he said that about psychiatrist and counselor, because honestly, you're dealing with a lot of entrepreneurs that have never owned a business.
Correct.
And a lot of people really were just kind of like, whoa, what do we do? And it's so you're kind of teaching them and leading them and counseling the ups and the downs that come along with owning a business. Yeah,
well, and I think too, it's most people when they see stuff like this, it's the glamorous side of things, right? Everybody on my team is going to see me right now on Unscripted with Jamie and JJ, right? And it's the glamorous side of
You're
things.
Living the life
but
here.
You know what I mean? I just got done with a 4-hour trade show, right?
Exactly
So
right.
That's not real glamorous.
No, it's not. My feet are hurting, but it's all good. But it's one of those things where there's so much involved with it, but it's once again, you got to help, because they see the glamorous side of things, but there's a lot of work to get to that glamorous side, and that's what's important to make sure everybody gets it.
What was it that Dr. Goldsby said yesterday? Something about it's hard work to make it look easy.
To make it look easy.
That's
good.
Really
hard work to make it look easy.
Yeah.
You make it look easy.
I try.
And when you're on the stage, you just light up.
Listen,
it's the crowds.
It's funny because I took a lot of public speaking classes in college, and it was something I think anybody, and there's a fear of public speaking for some people more than death. People.
I had that from the beginning when I was in college.
Yeah,
it went away.
When it goes away, it's so much fun. Just getting up there and the energy, and especially with this conference that you guys, the energy. I remember it even from last year. It was so much fun. You feed off of it, and my kids are always like, "Dad, how do you talk in front of that many people?" And I'm like, I don't know. You're just able to do it. So.
But that's funny that you say that, because after the conference, when we're done, that's when we crash.
100%.
That's when I want to be at Royal Plantation.
Yeah.
We've done that before.
Yeah, you have to get away, right?
You
have
do.
to, which is needed. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
It is, but it's fun. And I always say, I'm like, I love what I do, but it is sometimes not what you see on social media.
is a killer, because even my kids for years did not understood what I did, and they were like, "Oh, you're like," even now, it's spring break for my children,
and you're at Disney,
and I'm in Disney at Orlando,
but they think you're at a vacation.
100%. They're like, "Oh, it's our spring break, and you're the one that's going to Florida." I'm like, "No, bud. Here's the deal." So they're up there with blizzards and snow and everything. But yeah, it's social media is a great thing, but it also it once again kind of sometimes could put out that wrong reality of what it's all about. But it's a lot of work.
I remind our agents a lot of times, I'm like, what you see is a 30-second highlight reel of my day.
Yeah.
Believe you me, my day wasn't set to background music to Aerosmith
exactly.
or to you know like this amazing, like I can pick 30 seconds out of my day.
Yeah.
That, and even put clips in, but I'm literally taking like 5-second clips from like 10-minute videos that, you know, I mean, it's like, it's not reality.
Correct.
It is not, social media is not reality. And I think that even I fall into those.
Sure.
As an owner that appears to have everything her heart's desired.
Correct.
I fall in, and I just talked to the team leaders about that. And I said, a lot of times I will see on social media, I've actually taken a little break. So I don't, you maybe haven't seen me, but also I've taken a little break. I may post, but then I have like people that kind of monitor it for me and say, hey, you got a message from somebody that you may know, you may need to reach out to them.
Yeah.
But it's hard. Social media is hard because it plays tricks on your mind.
It does.
It makes you think that Chad has the dream job that I want.
Yeah.
I want Chad's job.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, like, you know, when we have an open position, a lot of travel advisors will reach out, and I'm like, listen,
you don't
listen.
understand.
And just on the flip side, like what I do, I love, but I couldn't do what a travel advisor does.
Yes.
Right? And it's the same industry, but I couldn't do it. There's no way I could, because y'all have to deal with, you know, the changes in the world itself. I just got to deal with my resorts, right? And listen, that comes with its own challenges, but that's where I think it works out really well, because listen, we both don't want each other's jobs, but working together is what makes the world go round, and that's what helps.
Dynamic duo, like when we
100%.
match together, we do that. But that's so funny because like when I first started in the industry, I used to think like, oh, I would love your job, or another BDM, or like, I want your job. Like, and I'm like, and then I'm like, no, I actually, cause like that seems like work. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have an entrepreneur spirit. Yeah. Because like we'll have the same. So if we have a position that's open at MVP, we'll always have agents that reach out and say, hey, I want this. And I'm like, you don't.
Yes.
Like it's like working in a cage, and it's an actual, there's job descriptions.
Exactly.
And there's goals. And if you are a true entrepreneur, and like
you'll go crazy.
You don't like to play inside the lines.
Yeah.
Like you got to be out. Like you're a free bird. And
you
know, it's like we call the shots. And when you work or you have a job like you, I mean, you actually have like responsibilities and roles, and you have goals that you have to hit. And
lots of them, and they grow every year. Which I love.
So that's why, you know, we have that obstacle from time to time where agents are like, well, how big are we going to get? I'm like, as long as our vendors keep saying we need you to do, you know, because like your success is our success is your success.
Correct.
You know, the agent success is all of our success, and I think that sometimes people don't see that. But, you know, people have goals. So it's like, so how do we get them to their goals? But
you know,
we're
also,
a partner with you.
And also, the way we support, you know, you guys in your business, what you can expect out of us, you know, that allows you to be able to work with us, to work with our advisors, to participate in our conference, to do, you know, some of the fam trips and things like that. So it's like a two-way street, you know.
Sure.
You know what we're going to provide and give to you, and you guys in return help us to get there. You know, it's about helping each of us grow. It's
funny because I remember, you know, when this partnership started to flourish, right? And it was, I know you guys are very goal-driven, right? And it was like, all right, this is where we need to, this is where we're at, this is where we need to be, and we're going to hit it, right? And TAs have to do that as well too. If you have to have a goal, and the important part, you got to write it down, and you got to have a plan to get there. Because if you don't, it's just a wish. You're just throwing something against the wall. But the people, the successful agencies and advisors that actually have clear-cut goals that are written down and a plan to actually make that happen are the ones that you see that flourish, other than just, oh, I want to sell this amount. Okay, great. Right. But what are you going to do to get there, to get to that amount? You just can't sit there and hope that it happens. You know,
the crazy thing about that is when I started this industry, I didn't know that. You know, what I mean,
sure.
I didn't know that, and I had a goal, and I shared it with somebody. They said, "How are you going to get there?" And I was like, "What?"
Like I just thought I had to write it down.
You know what I mean? And here I am. I have a business degree. It's like, but you know, we had owned. You know, we have a real estate business, and you know, we ran basketball camps, but. You know, just things, we just do it. Like, we do it and it happens. But when you're building something as large as MVP, like, and trying to hit the goals of our partners, like you are our partner, you know, and we want to be a good partner to you, and we want to be we want to work well together and we want to hit the goals because we know how it works. If you don't hit your goals, then it's like, then.
Listen, it keeps me employed. So you
Yeah.
guys keep doing what you're doing because and it's funny because how you started, it's kind of like how our company started too. I mean, we're still a family-run company,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it was a goal of Mr. Stewart back in '81 to open one resort.
Yeah.
Now we're up to 21, I think, with our newest resort opening tomorrow.
I was
right?
going to
Look,
say, tell us about that.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
tell
listen.
us about your new resort.
It's awesome. It's so weird to even explain. I got to go experience it last week.
And which one is, this is
So
the.
Sandals St. Vincent in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
So you did hear me say that we're exhausted after the conference, right?
I know.
Correct.
That's why we
Yeah.
should
Well,
fly
the
in.
resort, and it was funny. Even in the trade show, people were like, "Well, why aren't we there right now?" I was like, "Doesn't open until tomorrow." That's why, and they're like, "It's a good call, right?" We're super excited about it because it's a destination. As a country, like I did a whole island tour, and the entire country has 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's more than there's probably more than that at this resort, right?
Yeah.
But it's you go there and you really are stepping back into the true Caribbean, and it's surrounded by mountains and everything that we did there we've never done before. And I've toured every resort, every room multiple times. My mouth was open the entire time going, what else are they going to do?
Wow.
Just in the quality, in the wood, in the architecture, and just everything we did. Adam, our executive chairman, he blew it out of the park.
Wow.
And this is really where the brand is looking at going under his leadership,
Very nice.
and starting from that goal of one resort to being a global super brand, and still being that little company from Jamaica too.
Yeah,
So
And one of the things I like about Sandals is, having, as you mentioned, 21
Yeah.
properties, you guys take and you do a lot of new builds.
Yes.
Versus just acquiring a building that's already up. So you can
Correct.
actually build this the way that you need it and
Yeah.
want it to be.
Well, very important to us is to actually physically own the land, own the buildings.
Yes.
We're not a property management company that's just going to come in and slap our logo on it because we're invested in it. And being a company from the Caribbean, we're invested in the Caribbean. We are one of the largest employers in the entire Caribbean. We have almost 18,000 employees that help run those resorts. But it's what I like about it too is it's not a cookie cutter product. And we'll talk about it. You look at St. Vincent. This is our newest, brightest, shinest bulb, right? But then you got Royal Plantation, which is only 72 rooms.
Yes.
This little tiny boutique resort that I know you guys love.
That's one
This
of our
is
favorites.
You know what I mean?
our favorite.
But it's two
Yes.
opposite extremes.
It
Yes.
is.
You know?
That is Sandals Royal Plantation. And people will ask, they would say, we want to go to Sandals. Which resort do we
Yeah.
go to? And I always had to be very careful because, like you said, Royal Plantation is not for everybody.
100% not.
I love it because there's no, pool music or there's there's no pool bar and it's very quiet.
Yep.
And when we do something like this conference where it's just like go and the adrenaline is just like nonstop and we just need time
But
to
I
just
think-
reset and
Yeah,
Royal
But a couple
Plantation-
days after,
Oh, yeah,
laying around,
Yeah.
it's time to go over to
We'll
OT.
go- we'll
Yeah.
go over-
Go to
Yeah.
OT.
Yeah, hit up that beach club a little bit.
Yeah, then
Absolutely.
we go over to the neighboring, and that's one of the perks
Yeah.
about staying at Royal Plantation is it's an all butler suite.
Yep.
Which the first time we did that, I was like, that's weird.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it's weird, but we did it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I can't travel without a butler. Like and then
tough.
they spoil you.
They do.
And they get you accustomed because like for me, I didn't know what I didn't know. Like
Correct.
I've never had a butler, and I was like, whoa. Can we take you home with us?
Well, a lot of people are kind of hesitant to it too because they're like, oh, I don't want to use the butler. Like that's what
Yes,
they're there for.
that
They're
it is.
trained in it. That's their craft, and they do
Right.
things that just kind of bring it to the next level.
It does, and it just, when you just kind of embrace it and you go and you check in, like I can tell you that Royal Plantation's one of my favorites because I can literally just be quiet and I can. There's not like
relaxing.
people don't
Yes.
bother you. It's like it's just quiet.
But just like you mentioned, having the uniqueness of each property, Curacao having the food trucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
And their
Curacao. Oh, my
amazing-
land.
Yeah.
The amazing suite that's overlooking.
Yeah.
Wow. It was
Yeah.
just amazing. But then also you have La Source, Grenada.
Yeah.
Which is
Yep.
another
So
one of our
I
favorite
actually have
properties.
many favorite resorts because he just named 2 other ones.
Yeah.
That's my favorite resorts.
Well, it's
too.
funny because you'll get, even myself, people are like, what's your favorite resort? It's normally the one I just got back from because that's the one that's, that's the one that's in the top of your mind and you're like, God, I really like that one. And Grenada is one for me that always stands out where, like, if I could take the resort in Grenada, put it on St. Lucia and have it be run by Jamaicans, that's my heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like that helps me.
That's the triple threat.
That's it. Like you make that happen and that's where I'm moving. But they all have such a uniqueness and every island is so different and the people and the culture and that's what I love about it. Yeah.
And at some of your resorts, I mean, people have been there for a long time. And so when you go back to that, it's the same people. And so the love that happens when you have the same people and they love the Sandals culture and they love and they believe in it and they want that they want that service to be the same at every for every guest experience. And I think that that's one thing I love about Sandals too is that consistency of a familiar face because people like me I need just a tad bit of familiarity.
Nailed it.
Whatever it is.
You
Don't ask me how to spell it because I don't know, but to be familiar.
Yeah. Well, we had a big sales meeting at the beginning of the year and Adam came to speak and he said, one of the things that, listen, we'll build resorts, other brands, they'll do whatever. They'll copy it. They'll do whatever. Yeah. So the one thing that nobody will ever be able to take is the spirit of what we have of our employees.
Absolutely.
Because, we invest so much into the islands with the Sandals Foundation and everything that we do to give back. It's unbelievable, and that's our commitment to the people because we know when we come in, we're buying from the local vendors and we're buying from the food, so it really helps the entire economy that's down there. And going back to St. Vincent, even on the plane going down, I sat next to a gal who's from actually 2 people and they were so excited that we were going to be there because they know what it's going to do for the economy. Yes. They know that it's going to bring in more flights so that they can get back to the States and make it easier on them. And they know what it's going to do for the local farmers and things like that we're going to be buying stuff from and the craft people and the entertainment teams and all of that. So it really, it's not just for us selling a vacation. It's like we're really changing lives of those people in the Caribbean and helping them out as well too. And every booking does that.
And I think that that's why MVP and Sandals just really get along because I think that your culture, our culture, like we align and we don't sell every product, but we have to make sure that the people we are aligned with are good humans is what I like to say.
Well, and you have
guys
to.
are good humans.
Yeah, so. Well, listen, I like to think so. My kids don't always feel that way, but
none of our kids.
Since you're here, of course they don't.
Well, I know I'm horrible father because I'm down here, but
year.
it's one of those things where a lot of people forget. MVP this is a very large agency and very well known in the industry. And you 2 started it, right? And Sandals is a very large name, started by one guy, and now his son has taken over after his passing. And it's all about just that we're not this large corporation, we're a lot smaller than a lot of people realize, but everybody knows the name, in our resorts you can take all of our rooms and we're the size of 2 cruise ships, we're not that large. Right. But it's got a huge impact in the industry, just based on what we try to do and working with the travel advisors because that I don't know if anybody's seen it. The latest Travel Weekly article, Gary Sadler was in there. Literally, we're in the position we are because of our partnership with travel advisors, and he flat out came out and said that because it's true. Since day one, we've always known that the importance because no matter what happens, and we stand by it. Even after all the COVID stuff happened, I hate talking about it, but. We wouldn't be in the position we were if we didn't maintain those partnerships, if we didn't keep our sales team employed, if we didn't keep everybody employed and really continue to do that. So
I think your brand awareness and marketing is incredible.
Yeah, our marketing team's going crazy. Yeah.
Well, I think that's one thing that I really appreciate, and you guys always have. So Trish Hartledge was our first, and I love Trish, and if you see her, tell her I said
I will tell her hello.
She was back in our spring mill days in Indiana when we had 15, 20 people at our first conference. And but the thing that you guys do is you have never wavered on your loyalty to travel agents, and I want to thank you on behalf of all the travel agencies out there that we see you and we appreciate you and we thank you for that.
It's obviously it's no small feat, but I for a Caribbean company, we have the largest sales team and 100% of our job is to push business through travel agents.
Right.
And
You're
working.
marketing. You were
It's
one
all
of the
there.
first in the industry to market and say,
Call our travel
agents
advisor.
are our partners.
Yeah, 100%.
Call a travel agent.
We stand by, listen, there's a lot of Gary Sadler says it all the time. You can have lip service,
Yes.
but are you going to back it up, right?
Correct.
And by backing it up is we've got over 50 business development managers scattered across the United States, working because everybody's different. I know you guys are from Indiana, I'm Minnesota. In Minnesota, we're going to market different than California and Florida and New York and things. I can't speak to New York, but my local people can, right? And we can collaborate and be able to do that. And that's where it really is about developing the business, right? But we choose to work with travel professionals. We choose to, there's agencies that we don't work with, because we feel like they're more hobbyists, right? Which I don't necessarily think is the best for the industry, right? So you work with agencies and hosts like yourself that people are doing this because they're choosing to do this. This is their living, And some of it might be a second job now, but there are so many that all of a sudden,
Absolutely.
husband's retiring and he's like, I'm just going to do travel. Wife's going to do travel. Everybody's going to do travel now because it's such a lucrative, fun industry to be in, and once they kind of get that taste, those are the ones we want to work with.
Once they get that taste, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we
pharmacists,
have teachers. I mean, we have firefighters. We have, from all different types of industries, that are turning to become travel advisors. So
doctors are like, I'm done with this. I'm going to sell travel. Like, that's a huge accomplishment. That's awesome to be able to do.
It amazes me, and I just talked to the team leaders. I said, never in a billion years would I have ever thought that people would leave something that, their profession, they went to school for 8 years to do, and they're like becoming a travel agent. I mean, that puts pressure on us.
100%.
That we have to give them the tools that they need, that we've got to build the relationships with you guys. We've got to represent you well, because like you said, you don't partner with everybody.
We don't.
And it has to align, like the relationship has to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense for you, or it doesn't make sense for us, like it will never work. And so we have to figure out how do we make this work, or how do we just not work together? And
it's a tough decision sometimes, because
is.
I'm sure there's vendors out there that approach you all that want to work with you, and you're like, listen, it just might not align, right? And it's the same for us, because in the industry we have a price parity. We don't allow discounting, because what we want to try to do is I don't care who you are, it's got to be the same level playing field for everybody. So you got to one of your advisors in, call it Michigan, they could be down the street from a huge storefront. I want them to be able to compete at the same level and not let somebody else be able to do it. It's just making it fair for the industry to be able to sell the product. And I can't even sell it cheaper than a TA can. There's a lot of companies out there that do that.
I always loved that about you guys, because we are one of a few in the industry that we do not rebate. And actually, that originally probably came from Trish, because well, one, like you said, you want a level playing field, but as new agencies are popping up, or some old, like you'll see them rebate on cruises, you'll see them, and once you rebate on cruising, on cruising, once you do that on cruises, and you do that on parks, and you do that on getaways, and then it's like, how do you then differentiate? Yeah. It's like, because it's not a level playing field with even the commission structure. So some are like flat this. So it's like, so if you're rebating over here, your client's not going to understand, well, why can you rebate over, like, they don't even understand the word rebate. They're like 100%. Discount. Like they call it a discount, or they call it, I'm like, you and I call it rebates.
One of the most frustrating things for me is when you run into that, it's like they're pulling that out of their own commission. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't ever do it, right? Yeah. But it's you've worked hard for that money. Don't you don't have to
pay people
discount anything, because it's if you sell the value of it,
know your worth,
and you know what you're worth, you're going to do it, right? And that's like, I know I'm doing 3 breakout here tomorrow, and it's everybody's like, oh, I can't wait to learn a little bit. With all due respect, I'm not talking about our product.
Yes. Right.
My presentation is how to sell value over price. Absolutely. Because what that's going to do now, it's going to help sell other brands as well too. But if you can figure out how to do that as a travel advisor, and kind of flip that sales switch, I've only done sales my whole life. It's all I ever know, and I love it. Okay, but it's a difficult thing for a lot of people that aren't salespeople. you know, but that's the whole mindset is you got to flip that switch. And so that's what I'm talking about all day tomorrow.
Great.
Which is fun.
I have to be honest. So when I first started in the travel industry, you know, we did Disney, and then we also did we did Sandals and Royal Caribbean and Carnival.
Yeah.
So that was because I wanted it like, and I just dabbled. Like I didn't know a lot of that. I was like, I was Disney focused. Like that's no secret.
Yeah.
And but you guys always offered a training program in the summer, and you had a binder. And it had tools in there that, like you said, it would help us sell other products. But I was like, this is genius. So I learned it to sell your product, but I learned it to be a better salesperson because I was a basketball wife. Like, I mean, I you know, I mean, yes, I had studied in college, but I mean, I'd sold things.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what I didn't know, but it's like, but you gave me the tools that I needed to be a better salesperson, to position, to know my worth. And JJ's like, he's phenomenal because he's been saying it all the time.
Yeah.
And we always joke about it. It's like he'll say things and then I hear it from somebody else. It's like, and it's like our kids, you know, they never listen to us, but another
They'll
like a
listen to
coach
anybody
comes,
else.
a basketball coach comes in that's never played Division I or anything. Needless to say, never played 13 years professional basketball.
More value with the kids
Like,
than me.
100%.
It's like
because
they'll listen to them, and not listen
I got
to him.
you.
I'm like, what? But I'm no different though.
Yeah.
He would tell me, and I would like, and then I'd read it in a book that you guys present to us, and I'm like, this is what he was saying.
Yeah.
And I just had to hear it in a different way or read it in
Listen,
a different way.
it's like at home, right? My wife never listens to me, but her friend will say the same thing, and I'm like, wait,
I've been saying.
do you not listen? Like I said the exact same thing, and she's like, but all right, I got you.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's when you do those classes, it's important because listen, as long as the industry's doing well, we're all doing well, right? Because, you know, there's a point in time when, you know, cruising was shut down.
Right.
That helped us when cruising came back.
Yes. Yeah.
Like we needed cruising to come back because it's that whole ecosystem of travel.
Yes.
Even from our corporate standpoint, we have the corporate university, Sandals Corporate University down in Jamaica. We will send kids to college to learn this industry, knowing that they're not all going to stay with the company. We'd love them to go up through the rankings. But it just helps everybody if you can teach people how to do it. And that's what we need. We need the industry to stay strong. And that's what all this collaborative stuff does.
Well, you know, that's kind of been one of the benefits to Magical Vacation Planner. One of our goals was to bring people that's never been travel advisors into the industry, to advance the industry, to help people grow a business by being entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So there's some alignment there, you know, between the two organizations, just that way, the way we see things and the way we do things.
It's important in what bringing in fresh new insights and ideas. And like I'm old school now. I mean, even with the company for 10 years, and it's you need to breathe new life into some certain things, you know, because sometimes we get stagnant in what we're doing in the approach. What may have worked 10 years ago doesn't work now.
Correct.
But if it didn't work 10 years ago, it might be the gold mine in that winning ticket today. You know, so those are the things that you really have to look at, and that's where it's fun to get kind of the new blood in the industry and just really see what their ideas are. It's awesome.
I love it. So what can Chad do? I know you're going to talk to our agents tomorrow.
Yeah.
But what advice, if you could take one single thing to a travel agent that's started their career and being an entrepreneur, as a travel agent, what one piece of advice would you give that person?
I mean, you only sell sandals at beaches, resorts. Like,
Oh my
that's
God,
okay.
of course.
But
Good answer.
no, but that goes down that line.
Yeah.
Focus, right? Don't come into the industry and just try to be a professional and sell the world. It's impossible, right? It is impossible to be a master at every single product. But if you narrow down your focus on just a few key points and become the professional at that, that's where you're going to succeed. And it's okay to turn business away, right? Because if it doesn't suit what your specialties are, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't specialize in this, but I know some, you know, then you partner with somebody that does, you know, and then you have that relationship.
Yeah.
But if you narrow down your focus on 2 or 3 different products and become the masters at those products, that's what's going to set you up for success. And that's where I've seen the most people really focusing in, being successful, because it's impossible to learn the world.
It really is. So whenever I say, you know, I got into this industry because I was Disney centric, and but it's like I had people that wanted to go, so I learned.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with Trish,
Yeah.
that worked for
Who
Sandals.
doesn't? Everybody loves
And
Trish.
then I met Scott for Crumba, and then it's like,
Yeah.
but I really like my niche was, in fact, and it was Disney World. It wasn't.
Sure.
I did a little Disney cruise. Like it was, Disney World was what I knew. It's what I was known for, and if
You're
somebody wanted to
comfortable
go
with
to
it.
Disneyland, like I wasn't even comfortable doing Disneyland. Like this was my jam.
That's
but it's
it.
like, so you can't be a master at everything, and so
Specialize in a few things, and it's going to make you a lot more money, in my opinion.
wonderful.
So one last question.
Yeah.
What can you share with us in Adam's vision for Sandals for the next few years?
Yeah, so he talks consistently about Sandals 2.0. His father passed away a few years ago, and he had to take on this company, this brand that's a global super brand, and the decision was to take this company to the moon, right? Growth is a huge part of the plan, but it's strategic. We're not just going to all of a sudden have 5 or 10 more resorts that are added. Strategically, we're adding about 1 resort a year, being able to go into it. Like I said, St. Vincent opening tomorrow. Then the next plans are, I'm kind of growing the Beaches brand. But it's what it is it's growing the company, but doing it strategically enough to not forget about the product that's already out there. So doing what we did in St. Vincent, now replicating that for the Beaches brand for the families and building that wow resort, slowly but surely getting to a comfortable level to continue to manage, but elevating the experience, because nowadays we don't book travel, we don't book vacations. You have got to build the experience, and just like we did in Curacao with the dining program, first company ever in all-inclusive to say, hey, you book a certain level, I'm going to give you money to go off property and have dinner on us. Typically, all-inclusive want you to stay on property, but nowadays there's such a world out there that we want people to explore. So what we're doing is built around that, is to give people that opportunity to explore the culture, explore the local cuisine, explore the island, explore the people. And hey, guess what? We got a beautiful resort for you to stay at as well. So I really think that vision is a strategic growth, still elevating that luxury experience, but giving people that ability to really go places that they've never been before. And that's what we're excited about.
This is why we love Sandals.
Yeah,
It
man.
is why we love Sandals.
It's all good.
And Chad, we cannot thank you enough for always supporting our MVPs, being a phenomenal partner. We're very appreciative of you and your company, and we could not thank you enough. And we just want to say thank you.
Listen, it's partnerships like this that make this job fun, and seeing the growth. So I appreciate you guys having me on here. So this is I'm on Unscripted, right? And that's what I love.
Unscripted.
I love this. You guys are doing a great job. What you're doing with MVP is, I know it's envious in the industry. But you keep this is such a great organization for us as well too in the partnership, and what we love to see is the growth year over year. And on behalf of 18,000 team members across the entire Caribbean, we thank you guys, because every booking makes such a big difference.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining JJ and I on Unscripted with JJ and Jamie.
See you next time.